Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to open tonight by telling you that there are only two things that I can't stand, and that is people who are intolerant of others' cultures and the Dutch.
Those Dutch.
That was not a good Michael Caine. I apologize. I implied that I was going to do a Michael Caine, but then I punted. What can I say?
What? Take your father away, Dutch hater.
It's Tuesday, it's 7-ish, so that means it's time to welcome everybody to Sentinels Live. Thank you for joining us around the digital tabletop while we play... What game, John?
John takes a drink.
John takes a sip. What game are we playing, John?
Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Sentinels of something. The goal of these streams is to have some fun while showing you how to play the game, as well as covering some strategies that can help you win. Some of you may have noticed that we have a special guest tonight. That would, of course, be Chris from Green Ronin. Say hi, Chris.
Hello, everybody.
So
Thanks for having me.
why would you be on our live stream, Chris? Pray tell.
Well, it might have something to do with the fact that we have a Kickstarter going for a game called Sentinels of Earth Prime.
A Kickstarter, you say?
I do say.
Surely you jest, good sir.
I believe of interest to the wider Sentinels community.
Indubitably.
What we are doing is we're teaming up with Greater Than Games, and we are taking the rules for Sentinels of the Multiverse, but then we're taking our setting from the Mutants and Masterminds role-playing game, and then we are crossing them over in a titanic event, and the result will be a new game called Sentinels of Earth Prime. So the rules you love, plus our great superhero setting, and so it's a new way to play Sentinels. It'll be all new characters, all new decks, and Christopher, the designer of Sentinels of the Multiverse, is designing all the decks. So
the two great tastes that taste great together.
Correct.
Mutants and Masterminds and Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Yes.
Very, very cool. Yeah, so we brought Chris on. We actually mentioned this to him back before the Kickstarter even launched, that we've got this awesome community of people who watch us play live. And of course, we're super excited to potentially bring even more cool decks to the Sentinels of the Multiverse video game. And so as you guys might notice, there is a stretch goal on that campaign. And they're going to need your help to get there, so you should head over. I don't have a link right at the... somebody put the link in the chat. Sentinels of Earth Prime, Kickstarter. Do like a Google search or something. I don't know.
It's in my frequently visited.
Yeah, I think it is actually in my frequently visited. Because I'm constantly checking on it.
That Kickstarter has more comments than our Kickstarter, like twice as many, and It's not over yet.
And it's not over yet.
The comments have been very active.
Well, they've already raised more than we raised. I mean, I think by the end of our actual Kickstarter, we'd only raised about 97.
Yeah, it's almost 3 times the goal, which is awesome.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it funded initially in like 9 hours, which was great. Because then it was, like by the end of the first day, we were like, okay, we can relax slightly, hit our basic funding goal, and then power on through the rest of the campaign. So.
Yeah, and so that's, it's funny, actually. We were just commenting to someone today that our Kickstarter was kind of the anti-board game Kickstarter. Our Kickstarter was a video game Kickstarter, but it was tabletop adjacent. That's kind of the way that I describe it. And, most tabletop Kickstarters, it's like, the goal is to fund on day one and then just keep growing and figuring out how many more copies you can print and whatever. With us, we funded like a week before closing, and then we got a couple of stretch goals, but then most of our stretch goals came actually in the sort of post-funding pre-order period. You guys are doing the more typical thing. You fund in the first day, see how many cool stretch goals you can get to, but that's the difference in the economics of video games and board games.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when we first started doing Kickstarters, the idea that you might fund on the first day was kind of out there, unless you set your goal like artificially low. But now, if you don't fund on the first day, there are people who'd be like, you should cancel your Kickstarter. And
what? Come on, people. And that's exactly it. Was we knew going into it that was like, we can't set it artificially low. Like, if we don't raise what we're asking for, we can't make the thing. So it was definitely kind of a weird. I mean, we can get to the politics of Kickstarter in terms of like video game people who've kind of poisoned the well for us, but that's neither here nor there. So let's just dive right back into doing some actual live streaming stuff. Continuing with my little script here, Handelabra does believe in civil rights for all and in being as inclusive as possible. So comments or activity that are actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. If you do enjoy the show, please do like, share, follow, and subscribe. And be sure to check out the other shows that we have right here at twitch.tv/HandelabraGames. Dolphins Dive is Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tales from the Archive is most Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. I say that because this past Saturday was Free Comic Book Day. So we actually did it on Sunday instead of Saturday. But check those shows out if you would, please. I'm Jeremy. You can follow me at Mr. J Handel. Joining me, as always, is John, who you can follow at Migrant P. Say hi, John.
Hi, John.
And, of course, we've got Chris from Green Ronin, who you can follow at Pramas, Pramas, right?
It's pronounced Pramas.
Pramas, excuse me. I apologize.
Yes.
He's on Twitter as well. And you can always follow the company at Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. As we are the developers, you can be sure to get some insight into the process and maybe even see some stuff before anyone else. This past week, you got to see something completely brand new. If you were following us on Friday, John did his very first developer stream for our next game. It's not Sentinels of Earth Prime. That might be our next game, but what is our next game, John?
It is Bottom of the Ninth.
Bottom of the Ninth.
Game from Dice Hate Me Games and Greater Than Games. It's baseball themed, but it's a tight little strategic two-player game with bluffing. It's kind of got all sorts of interesting different elements of games. It's got a bluffing to it. It's got rolling dice in an action way. It's got card strategy and interesting decisions, and it's a pretty cool little game.
It is. Yeah, so keep checking out. We are actually going to try and do new developer streams, we hope weekly, fingers crossed. I don't know if it'll be 100% every week, but right now we're trying to work that out internally. The dev stream last week went really well, and we know that people out there kind of like that, getting that peek behind the curtain. So we're gonna see what we can do to get those to do more of those sort of developer oriented streams. Maybe some will be with Jennifer, so you can see how the UI is coming together. Maybe some will be with Jean-Marc, so you can see how the engine or the music is coming together. We're still working that all out, but definitely stay tuned. Subscribe to our channel, and you'll get information about all that cool stuff. Jumping back to Sentinels, the game does include a tutorial that covers the basics, but we always do our best to explain exactly what we're doing, when we do it, and why. And depending on how long it takes for us to win or lose, we often play multiple games in every 2-hour episode. Sentinels of the Multiverse is currently available for iOS, Android, as well as PC, Mac, and Linux via Steam, and always in good old analog, cardboard and ink. And check out sentinelsdigital.com for more info and to download and try the demo absolutely free. All right, I'm through my script. It only took me 9 minutes tonight. Fantastic.
Woo.
Woohoo!
We had some asides.
We did have a few asides. All right, so let's pop into, I'm in The Sentinels number 8, gentlemen.
Ooh,
if you would like
well
to
named.
join me. Indeed. We've been playing a lot of team mode, and since we have Chris on tonight, I think we'll let him pick the villain that we're going to go against.
Okay.
But we'll wait for him to get into the room.
Let me get in here. Number 8, you say?
The Sentinels number 8.
Okay.
Someone in the chat earlier had said something along the lines of, after playing a bunch of Iron Legacy, I now don't think that the chairman is actually that hard. I think that was what they said. I might be misquoting. Maybe they said that they thought Iron Legacy wasn't as hard as the chairman.
Darren 2500 says Iron Legacy is easier than the chairman.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Interesting. I think that Iron Legacy is either easier than the chairman, or you win in like 2 rounds, or you lose in 2 rounds.
It's quicker than the chairman.
It's definitely quicker than the chairman. I think that's for sure.
Do you have any favorite fights or something you want to play tonight, Chris?
So should I be picking a villain?
Yeah, let me know what villain you want. I'm the king of the room, so I will be having to choose.
Oh, that's why you have the crown on your head.
That's why I have the crown.
That Guise's crown.
Well, let's see. You know,
Do you maybe want to do something thematic? Maybe pick a villain who is the closest to a Sentinels of Earth Prime villain? That is something we could try and do.
yeah.
I know that
Well,
you guys have been posting lots of awesome updates. Like, not to be whatever, but was not familiar with the Mutants and Masterminds universe before now, and so
Yeah.
I've been reading every single one of the updates to the Kickstarter with bated breath, like, oh, what is this villain going to be like? What is this hero going to be like? And it seems like there are definitely. I mean, the speedster situation is obvious. Like, the speedster is
Yeah.
a speedster. But, like, other villains, it's like, okay, so this is kind of like the god of the underworld, which in some ways is kind of like the Ennead, but it's also kind of like Ra. But it's a whole different mythology. It's Greek. It's not Egyptian. Like, there's definitely some really cool, interesting scenarios that I could see playing out there. So,
yeah. One advantage that we have is that we've been developing this setting for 15 years, so there's quite a lot of depth to it. As for a villain, I think I'm going to go with one of my old standbys, Grand Warlord Voss.
Grand Warlord Voss. Some of our most
Yeah.
epic games have been against Grand Warlord Voss. There's no question about that. And I assume we're going to do like a 3-hero set here, since there are 3 of us.
Oh,
So,
we lost Chris
uh-oh.
Yeah.
in the room.
My rogue thumb tapped my screen or something.
Sorry, Evil Dice Monkey. I will stop being whatever.
Maybe you should pull up Grand Warlord Voss and click the little button.
Let's take a look at Grand Warlord Voss. Oh, you know what? I actually don't have foil turned on. Why don't I have foil turned on? Oh, I know why I don't have foil turned on. Okay, so yeah, so this is Grand Warlord
There are no
Voss.
foil villains yet.
Oh, that's right. There's no foil villains yet.
That would be a good reason.
That's probably why.
That's why you didn't get your Steam key, Jeremy.
Oh, where's my Steam key for the foil villains? Yes, so Grand Warlord Voss, and as we showed off a little bit, either last week or the week before, we are adding in this feature here where you can turn off the game text, so you can see the beautiful artwork, unmolested, as it were, by the game text. Grand Warlord Voss on this side. At the start of the game, Grand Warlord Voss enters play conquering alien warlord side up. Cards revealed from the top of the villain deck until H minions are revealed and put into play. Other revealed cards are shuffled back into the villain deck. Gameplay. At the start of the villain turn, if there are no minions in play, he flips. So the goal is to get all the minions out of the way so he can flip over. At the start of the villain turn, if there are 10 or more minions in play, the planet has been overrun by the Thorathian army. Game over. I don't think we've ever had that happen on the stream. I'd be surprised if we did.
It tends to happen if you hide behind a meteor storm and you're like building up and you forget.
Ah, yes, and you forget that thing, yeah. Reduce damage to Grand Warlord Voss by 2 for each minion in play. And obviously, the reason why you want to sort of flip him is that on his flip side, when he's on the Super Thorathian Warrior, you only reduce damage by 1 for each minion in play. And if you can get all the minions out of the way, going after him full board doesn't really matter which side he's on. But if there's ever going to be minions in play, you want them to be in play on his opposite side. All right, gentlemen, go ahead and choose your heroes. I will go last.
Okie doke. Oh, who to play? Let's see. Tempest is his nemesis, right?
Yep.
Well, all right. Let's have a classic matchup.
Do it. All right. I don't know who the hero that I've played the least has been, but I think I'm going to actually close my eyes and scroll and click and see what I get. I'm clicking. Nothing's happening. Oh, I'm clicking a variant banner. All right. I've got Expatriette. Okay, that's why. All right.
I hope you weren't like clicking leave game or something.
No, I wasn't. I was being very careful to make sure that I was still in the same spot. Okay, so I'm going to be Darkwatch Expatriette, and environment-wise,
Nice.
What is the least thematic possible environment for Grand Warlord Voss? Because we've played the most thematic. The most thematic is Doctorath Capital.
Madam Mittermeier?
Yeah, Madam Mittermeier might be good. Yeah, you know what? We're still kind of showing off villain stuff, so Madam Mittermeier it is. Fantastic. This gives us a chance to
play
show
some music.
Yes, we don't have music, so let me go ahead. And while you guys are conversing about the things that we're going to do and hitting yourself is ready, I'm going to set iTunes up to play the correct piece of music that I need to do for that.
Yes. So have you played Madame Mittermeier's on the tabletop, Chris?
I have not.
Because this is you have special access to the beta now.
Ooh. Special.
Exciting.
All right. So, looks like we're going to do... do we want to do advanced rules, challenge rules, anything like that? Or are we just going to do regular old Grand Warlord Voss?
Let's go easy on me and go with the regular rules.
Let's make Chris look good.
All right.
Most of the time when I play the video game version, I end up getting a full suite of 5 characters because I like to have more characters to work with and synergize with. So playing with 3 is like, what?
Did you see that Voss looks like he has clown hair?
Cower before the might of the Therathian conquering fleet. Take actions you take become your own legacy. Sorry. The actions you take become your own legacy. Stand proud. That was me trying to do a 1940s accent.
You need to get Adam to do that.
Yes, I totally do. Yeah, after listening to the Absolute Zero, like...
A night of whiskey, guys.
All right, so Grandpa Legacy opens with Danger Sense, Lead from the Front, Takedown, and the Legacy Ring. Tempest has got Ball Lightning, Cleansing Downpour, Localized Hurricane, and Otherworldly Resilience, and Dark Watch Expatriette has got Hollow Points, Prejudice, Reload, and Speed Loading. All right, yeah, Clown Warlord Voss.
See? He got the clown hair.
Yes, he totally does. All right,
I'm finishing my whiskey because I am actually leaving town tomorrow and going to Halifax.
Yeah, pound that! Woo! Tiny Rick, Tiny John. Good times. All right. So, and forced deployment early. I like that.
Yeah. Because, man, that card is a pisser.
All right. So we got Genebound Banshee, Genebound Firesworn, and Genebound Frosthound all come out. We got Legacy's going to take this damage. Firesworn's going to hit Expatriette.
You guys are ganging up on me.
And everybody's going to take some frost damage. All right, so basically, it obviously would make very little sense for us to kill any of these minions ahead of the forced deployment because they're going to come right back out again. So what do you think, John? Or Chris? Usually I defer to John. I'm the let's charge in and damage all the things guy, and John is the let's hang back and think about this guy. So.
Well, Chris has a card that can help get rid of that. If we want to get rid of that instead of waiting for it.
Oh, the ball lightning?
Yeah. That could be a good way to go.
Yeah, I'm looking at Expatriate. I'm probably just going to throw out Prejudice and hit something. So...
Prejudice? I thought this was about diversity.
It is about diversity. Oh, if only I had pride.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play the Legacy Ring. Because then you have it.
Because then you have it. And then you have it.
And
what is the power of that version of Legacy you're playing?
One hero regains 1 hit point and may use a power.
Oh, that's nice.
So I think...
Yeah, he's sometimes called... He is sometimes referred to as Jerk Legacy because he can use it on himself to gain an HP himself and then use a second power. The assumption is that the way to use this legacy is to give it to a friend and let them use a power.
So I have given you a power, Chris.
Hey. All right. So should I start with the ball lightning and get rid of that?
Well, no, you have to use a power.
That's power, right?
Yeah. So.
Sorry.
Blink them all.
Mental Truth says Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, that is me. I'm totally the Leroy Jenkins. And I'll be honest with you. Look, I mean, John's method of slowly considering every move is a great way to go. But my barrel in and just try to kill everybody quickly works. I would say that 50%, 90% of the time it works every time. Or what is the quote from that movie? 50% of the time it works every time.
Yeah. You see that? So when I play, I end up being conservative, where I'll look at Ball Lightning and I'll be like, well, they could destroy 2 ongoing cards, but there's only 1 I'm going to destroy now. So
oh my god, that
I
is
should
totally a
hold on
thing
to
that
it.
I say to myself all the time. I'm like, man, I don't want to use that until there's at least 2.
No, but we
ongoing
want to
cards.
destroy force deployment first.
Yeah. You're
I would
right.
also
I'm
like
just-
to.
I'm like explaining my process, man. It's just.
Oh, Bellator Sierra says you can reenact Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies by playing Expatriette against Gloomweaver. That is a movie that, like, I watched the preview and I was like, this preview is glorious, but I have not watched the movie yet, and I kind of want to watch the movie because it sounds awesome. Evil Dice Monkey says, question for Chris.
You shouldn't hit the frost down because it's going to come right back. It's going to come back with 1 more hit point now.
Well, but he couldn't even get through the damage reduction to hit Grand Warlord Voss, right?
Yeah, but now the frost hound has 3 hit points instead of 2.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, she'll shoot some guns at it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. All right, so let me read this question from Evil Dice Monkey. So the question for Chris: You write RPGs where the story and NPCs are largely shaped by the players at the table and not you yourself, even when you create the NPCs for your books. Do you have challenges forcing M&M stories into fixed medium like a card game where it's likely to be wildly different interpretation of your characters between playgroups? Thoughts?
Well, I mean, with a role-playing game, what you're doing is you're setting up a whole bunch of possibilities for people, and then when they play in their home games, then they're playing through the story that way. So it's really not that different when you're looking at the card game situation, because essentially, we're setting up stories with Sentinels of Earth Prime, and people will be playing through those at the tabletop in the same way, I think.
Mm-hmm. And Real Fan Fanatic asks, where will there be a time where I can ask Chris a question? Feel free to ask them at me or at Chris. Are you on Twitch? Do you have a Twitch?
I am not on it currently.
Okay, so at Handelabra Games, and then I will make sure to keep an eye on that and ask Chris any questions.
Yeah, and we can have like more dedicated question period, like in between games.
Yeah,
maybe.
in between the games, we'll do a dedicated Q&A. But if you have questions that are just burning a hole in your pocket right now and you really want to ask them, go ahead and do that.
Why is my pocket on fire, Chris?
All right, who's
Make
the
sure to
most
kill that. Frost Hound is the most
Yeah,
dangerous.
Frost Hound hits everybody, right?
And there's a salt and vinegar button. That's probably an Amazon button.
Like to get salt and vinegar chips.
Yeah. Cytosine pushes. See, there's the chat going on. Cytosine pushes the salt and vinegar button and starts looking at the window for the supply drop.
Oh, it's a fun house.
So I think I mentioned this to you guys before we started broadcasting live, but I'll mention it to the chat as well. It's Mother's Day this weekend, and so I haven't done it yet, but I actually bought bright red hair dye, and I'm thinking of doing like a Handelabra themed red hair dye thing. Let me know in the chat if you think that is A, good idea, B, bad idea, or C, none of the above.
C, awesome idea.
Yeah,
The best.
A, great idea, B, greatest idea, or C,
Greater idea.
greater idea. Greater than ideas.
Darren 2500 asks, will the foil cards be released soon? No, they will be released no earlier than when they exist.
Exactly. Yes, we cannot release them until they are a real thing.
And
It'd be cool
they
if we
are
could.
projected to exist. I can't make any promise for Greater Than Games, but I believe they're supposed to come with the Oblivion stuff.
Yes.
But they won't exist. They won't be released until sometime after they exist.
Exactly right.
I should be sure.
We can't bend reality? Does it not work that way?
I mean, we do sometimes, but not that way.
Not in this particular case.
I kind of want to play Takedown, so I'm going to play that. Oh wait, there's an environment card. Did we notice that?
Oh yeah, let's pop that open. Gone without a trace. At the end of the environment turn, if there are more attractions than character cards with 5 or more HP, the target with the lowest HP deals itself 5 infernal damage. If a target is destroyed this way, remove that target and this card from the game. Interesting. No attraction cards in play. There are 4 character cards with 5 or more HP.
All right. So that's not doing anything right now. So yeah, Takedown, I think it's good. And I think I'll just get Tempest to use a power again. This is going to make Voss flip on his next turn, but he can't play cards, so he's not really going to do anything. Except do his tiny amount of damage with 3 heroes. So, and you have gone AFK, Chris.
Oh.
Just so you know. You can just take some action, like actually go through this dialogue to return from AFK, or you can do it in the chat button as well.
I seem to be playing. Are you not?
Yep,
Okay.
you're back now.
Yep, you did
It automatically brings you back when you do something. So.
Okay. You know, one thing I did not consider about playing this on my iPad is that now on a live stream, I'm looking down a lot. So
I didn't want to mention the fact that your forehead is incredibly compelling.
Yeah, I mean, it's my lovely olive skin. It's
Indeed.
pride of my Greek ancestors.
Real Fanatic asks, for Chris, seeing as this is a Green Ronin setting originally, what do you think of Shadow of the Demon Lord doing Freeport?
Well, I think it's great because it's a fun game, and Rob Schwab designed it. He worked for us for a bunch of years, and he was the developer on a bunch of Freeport books, so it's really a natural sort of crossover, and Demon Lord thematically, I think, fits well with Freeport.
Can I ask what any of that means?
Yeah. I'm like nodding like I have any idea what we're talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really good point.
So Freeport is sort of our signature fantasy setting at Green Ronin. It started in our second ever product, a role-playing game adventure for the D20 system called Death in Freeport. And it has, like Earth Prime, developed over a whole lot of years, and you know, the current version of the city, like the original adventure was 32 pages. The current Freeport city book is 544 pages. So it's grown quite a bit over 17 years.
Sounds reasonable.
So like that big book is for Pathfinder, but we've done these rules companions for other games that let you play in the Freeport setting with different rule systems. So we've done Savage Worlds and Castles and Crusades and a bunch of other games. And so Shadow of the Demon Lord is a role-playing game that Rob Schwab kickstarted a couple years ago, really successful Kickstarter. And then he did a second Kickstarter where he brought Freeport to Shadow of the Demon World, and that was also very successful. So
given our current guest host, I'm almost embarrassed to say the first time I ever played a tabletop role-playing game was at PAX East this year.
Oh.
Sentinels RPG?
No, actually, I played the whatever the Star Wars RPG is. But I really dug it. The thing about it is that I just don't have a lot of friends who are into this kind of thing. And so, as a result, finding a gaming group locally that I could play with is a complete non-starter. Like, it's just not a thing that is going to happen. So I'll hold myself to playing at conventions. As it is. Yes,
hey, Chris, do you have a copy of Headbands on your shelf there?
Copy of what?
Headbands?
Headbands? I don't think so.
It's a board game where you wear like a post-it note on your forehead.
Oh,
yeah, the comments are saying something about putting some kind of picture of yourself on your forehead so we can see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, if I may be honest, audience, the reason I did it this way is that I have not had an active Steam account for several years, and I've really enjoyed not having an active Steam account with its endless notifications and so I declined to reactivate it for this session. But in retrospect, I guess I should have said.
Yeah, he's playing on his iPad.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's kind of like head down, like, oh.
I mean, Sentinels features cross-platform multiplayer.
Indeed.
Wow, look at that. See, that's why.
Actually, before we put our game on Steam, I made an effort to not have Steam on my computer because it's like it really wants to always be running and on every startup, and
Yeah.
it really wants to be there, and I didn't like that. But
It's like a virus you pay money to.
I need to have it on there now because I make games on, and I love Steam, and Valve is the best. TM.
So, environment,
I'll
real
try to
quick.
find
The
it.
environment has played Unstable Midway. At the start of the environment turn, deal each target 2 psychic and 1 melee damage. Shuffle the environment trash into the environment deck, and play the top card of the environment deck. If that card is an attraction, destroy this card. All right.
I will say that Steam Valve has managed to take their own internal content distribution system and somehow become the overwhelmingly largest game marketplace on computers.
Yeah, actually, they are in the process of posting 3 updates, they've claimed, that are going to talk about what they're trying to do in the coming months. The first one went up yesterday, I want to say. And, I mean, I feel for them. They're trying to make some things happen and not really understanding exactly how that's going to affect the marketplace. We've definitely dealt with that already. Discovery 2.0 went live a little while ago, and it used to be that they would try to algorithmically figure out how to show people things, but it was much more much more transparent. They've changed it to be a little bit more opaque more recently, and now they're trying to take it transparent again. So I'm hoping that actually ends up working out. I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see. Steam is really interesting, to be honest with you. Some
If
people
it's
are
a little less intrusive. I'd be happy to put it back on my computer.
Yeah, some people are saying that it will be better if you can allow people to sort of say, the idea is that Steam is going to say,
Belle Sorcier has cheered 700.
what?
What? Thanks,
Belle
Belle Sorcier.
Sorcier, you're the best.
You are the winner.
I don't know what that means.
You're the hero
Yay.
we need. It's a Twitch.
Twitch
thing.
has a way to cheer, so you can get these bits you can buy money. They're basically you buy Twitch pennies, and you shower people with Twitch pennies. That's
Okay.
yeah. So and whoever has donated the most Twitch pennies to a channel gets their name at the top. And
Belle
previously
Sorcier.
it was Lou Dolphin with 10 bits, and Belle Sorcier has cheered 700.
Woohoo!
Little purpley animated Cell Division
Indeed.
bits.
That is a lot.
All right.
Make it rain.
Make it rain!
Just get a stack of iPhones and
All right, so let's, since there's no maidens in play, I'm going to keep going after Voss himself.
I so rarely get the draw to get Pride and Prejudice out at the same time, and you did it in 2 turns. I don't know. How does that work?
Man, the randomizer in this game is
That's
terrible.
he's a developer.
Yeah.
That's why.
All right, Unstable Midway is going to hit everything.
Not Legacy.
Oh, no.
Legacy's got a danger sense.
Mm. Take that, Quark Drive.
Indeed.
Oh, in the US, you can watch ads to get bits in the morning. I guess there's a
interesting.
limited pool, Lou Dolphin points out. I didn't know that.
right, so
Gosh, I get to watch ads. How exciting!
all right, so Abandoned Big Top came out at the start of the environment turn. If there are fewer attractions than active character cards, play the top card of the environment deck, and that brought out. Oop, hang on. That brought out World's Biggest Pool Table, which is an attraction. At the end of the environment turn, deal the hero target with the highest HP and the villain target with the highest HP 2 projectile damage. And then we got Wheel of Misfortune. Okay, World's Biggest Pool Table is hitting people. So Wheel of Misfortune came out. That is also an attraction. At the end of the environment turn, reveal the top card of the environment deck. If an attraction is revealed, put it into play. Otherwise, discard the revealed card and each target deals itself 1 psychic damage. But we got the we got the All-Seeing Alzrabar.
Yeah, so it is an attraction. So it's not but.
Sorry. And that is an attraction which at the end of each turn, one player may discard 1 card. If they do, they may reveal the top card of a deck. If the revealed card is a one-shot, put it in play now. Otherwise, put it back on the top of that deck. All right.
That's a fun one. Oh, well, we want to do this. This is a good thing. I mean, if someone has a card they want to discard, I can easily discard Danger Sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, you can reveal the top card of your hero deck and, like, get free one-shots. So, yeah. And also note that now, for Gone Without a Trace, there's an equal number of attraction cards to character cards with 5 or more points. Yeah, I'm going to discard Danger Sense. And I love that button.
That Mittermeier's Fantastical Festival of Conundrums and Curiosities.
You'll notice at the top of the screen we actually had to put a special support to not have it try to fit all that text into that little orange square.
Yeah, Fantastical Festival.
I can hear it in Christopher's voice.
Who has the most one-shots? I think Tempest, maybe. So, give it a go. It was not a one-shot.
Wah.
But it was Electrical Storm, so... Now you know.
G-Bound Shock Infantry comes out, which brings out the TCF Stalwart.
And we can choose... I guess it's the same damage here either way because of otherworldly resilience.
Yeah, Expatriette can take it. That's fine.
I think Tempest tends to have a rougher time against Voss, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can discard another card.
Oh, it's the end of each turn.
Yeah, every turn, so... And I'm going to go with Legacy, and maybe I'll go to Bolster Allies or something. Not a one-shot.
Motivational charge.
But a card I want, so...
It's a good one.
TCF Stalwart brings out the Gene-Bound Firesworn. Same deal. Yeah, we can go after Tempest here. All right, Legacy.
Sierra, which card did you want to get a close-up of? You could just ask. Jeremy could do it.
Yes. Bella Sorcier was saying that she double-clicked on the video trying to bring up a full card. I do that sometimes when I'm watching the rebroadcast or either the Dolphins Dive or the Tales from the Archive. Our other 2 shows, Thursdays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Look how smooth that was.
DJ Matic says, since I finally made it, Handelabra Games, do you have a status update on when Christopher is doing the write-up for Villains of the Multiverse Challenge Mode? Also, are you planning TM to launch Villains with Challenge Mode support? Yeah, we don't unfortunately have answers to either one of those. We don't have any timeline to give you yet. We will tell you when we do. And in terms of challenge mode, the goal is to have challenge modes, but I don't know exactly how that's going to work yet, because obviously Christopher does still have to write the challenge modes for the new villains. So stay tuned.
He's not busy at all. It'll be fine.
No,
yeah, he doesn't have anything to do. He's just sitting on a beach somewhere, not doing anything.
Yeah. Ironically, I have been on a beach with him on the Joko cruise, so it does happen. I've witnessed it with my own eyes.
So, Jeremy, I'd recommend we shoot the Stalwart a bunch.
Okay.
The Stalwart is bad.
Yes, and it's got a lot of HP.
And it should feel bad.
You are bad and you should feel bad.
So I wanted to note here, I played Surge of Strength instead of Lead from the Front. Probably normally I would have played Lead from the Front, but I know that I'm going to draw Motivational Charge. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to want that Surge of Strength. Expatriette can do more damage than Tempest to the ship at the moment.
So Snot Zombie 77 asks, if Sentinels of Earth Prime hits the stretch goal for the video game, we'll be able to cross-play between both games. And I'm going to skip the rest of his question because I'm going to go ahead and answer it all anyway. Basically, here's the situation. Assuming Sentinels of Earth Prime hits the stretch goal, the goal is to release not only a standalone Sentinels of Earth Prime, but also have Sentinels of Earth Prime available as an add-on in Sentinels of the Multiverse, the video game. And then vice versa. Sentinels of Earth Prime will have all the Sentinels of the Multiverse content available as add-ons. And the goal is, because just like on the tabletop, you could bring Sentinels of Earth Prime to a Sentinels of the Multiverse party and cross-play with your heroes, villains, and environments. The goal is to do the exact same thing in the video game. Obviously, it's a little bit trickier in the video game, but our goal is to support exactly that point of view. Where, you know, if I want to play, you know, Grand Warlord Voss and use... Chris, help me out with some names of heroes.
Bowman or Captain Thunder.
Exactly.
Or Johnny Rocket.
Or Johnny Rocket, that was the one. And like that's like an actual restaurant name. I should have been able to think of that. Yes, if you want to use all of those ones, or is it Hades? Not Hades. What's the name of it?
Yeah, Hades.
Hades, exactly right. If you want to use Hades as the villain and use Tachyon and Expatriette as your heroes, that is the goal. Yes, we want to support complete crossplay between all of the things.
All right, we took your turn.
Yep, that's fine.
And no one wants to discard a card? Okay.
I couldn't remember what I had, so I just figured move it along, you know. All right.
So, Chris, I have to ask you, when you were on
sir.
a cruise with Christopher, did he
Yeah.
wear anything other than a button-up shirt and a vest?
Generally not.
That does not surprise me.
It really is his idiom, so...
But
I think he showers in that.
5613 wanted to know.
I'm trying to remember if I ever saw him, like, by the pool, or...
He is nothing if not on brand.
Yeah, I don't know. Very snappy dresser, though. Very snappy. Okay. Well, how about I lightning slash that giant starship? Sound good?
I like that idea.
I have no problem with that.
I gotta say, I like playing Wraith and taking out the starship with a knife. It's always very satisfying.
Nice.
I'm throwing a knife at it, guys. Got it
Into
covered.
orbit.
Yeah.
Throwing a knife into orbit is always the best.
I mean, she just jerry-rigs a little rocket booster onto it, so...
Sure. She's handy.
I mean, in Guardians of the Galaxy, they're little, like... okay, I guess the movie came out on Friday, so I'm not going to give any spoilers.
I was going to say, dude, you are wading into some dangerous territory. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't know if we can assume everybody.
I'm just going to say they're tiny rocket engines that are stronger than you would think, and that doesn't make any sense. And I think not everyone in the film industry understands escape velocity and that sort of thing.
That is a fair statement.
Apparently, there's a video where Neil deGrasse Tyson takes it to task for its various science failings. So, sounds like you should watch that.
It's a comic book movie, so
Right.
I'm not too concerned. It can be a little jarring to see something like that, though. Tempest wants to discard.
Sure.
So someone says, Da266 says, I swear I saw Christopher in a t-shirt at PAX East many years ago. That was when Rook City was released.
Oh yeah, he was wearing. He's worn the Rook City T-shirt.
I have seen Christopher in a t-shirt many times. Almost
Yeah.
every time I've seen him in a t-shirt, he's also been wearing orange pants. And that is either pre or post actual show. during the actual show, he is typically in his uniform. But when we're doing setup or teardown, he sometimes lets himself go, and he wears orange pants with a t-shirt.
Also, in Australia, you have to wear like a high visibility vest for setup and teardown.
That is true.
So he wears that too.
They make you do that?
They do. Yes.
The requirement.
All right.
He only does it under duress, as you would.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go up to the stalwart with everything that I've got right here.
Get it.
So Phantom 5613. That font is really hard. It might be an 8, not a 6. I think it's 6. Asks Chris, what is your favorite deck to play in Sentinels of the Multiverse, and is there a particular character in Earth Prime you're looking forward to being a deck?
Yes, you discard. I do really enjoy playing Wraith. I like the gadgety stuff, and she often has something to do about any problem, which is nice. So she's a fave. I do like Dark Watch Expatriette as well, just for blowing things up with guns. That's
shooting things in the face.
Indeed. For Sentinels of Earth Prime, very much looking forward to seeing Christopher's final deck designs on all the characters, because the way we do, the way we set up a role-playing game character is quite different than how you do a deck in Sentinels, right? Because we're giving you like all the things you can do as the character, and then sort of your choice, like what powers you want to use when and how and so on, and he has to look at that and then sort of distill it down into a deck and try to kind of replicate the feel of the character and the powers. So it'll be super interesting to see how that goes. I am interested in seeing the bowman, because who doesn't like a good archer character?
And you know what? Some people have said actually that like they're very excited to see Bowman in a Sentinels of the Multiverse sort of style, because Parse, despite being a bow-centric character, she's not exactly she's definitely different than Bowman. You know, she is a very specific character to who she is, and Bowman is very different. And so seeing an actual bow-based character, I happen to notice some comments talking about how excited they were to see Bowman.
You guys can keep talking, but I'm going to ask that you stop clicking things until we can talk about what's happening.
I've been clicking things. I noticed that nobody else was active except for me, so I was just taking control of the game.
Just trying to keep things moving along, see?
Stuff is happening that needs to be considered, and you're just talking about. I mean, you're answering the question, and it's fine, but pay attention to the game as well, and stop.
We don't save the multiverse, man.
I was actually thinking about what I was doing, believe it or not. I know it sometimes doesn't seem that way because of the way that I play.
So a lot of stuff happened while you were talking. The ship got removed from the game.
I did that on purpose.
Yes, and that's fine. I would have liked to discuss that while we're doing it with the chat, with the stream, but that's fine. Maze of Mirrors has been played, and that is causing things that we need to talk about.
I see.
So Maze of Mirrors redirects the first damage dealt by a target each turn to the source of that damage. So watch out for that.
And then treat every instance of the word villain on hero cards as if it were the word hero instead.
So let's look at Gene-Bound Shackles.
Okay, let's do that. Increase damage dealt by Tempest to the hero target with the highest HP by 2.
I hope you said no to that question. but I don't think you did. I think you said yes and dealt yourself two more damage than you needed to.
Haha, I am smart.
So we can rewind, or we can just go ahead.
Let's just barrel ahead.
Soldier
on. Do we want to discard a card? Does someone want to discard a card for?
I do not discard.
You could probably discard liquid nitrogen, Jeremy, if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's fine.
We know Legacy doesn't have a one shot on top. I don't know about the other two. So, take your chance. DJ asks, how fun was Maze of Mirrors program? It was good. It wasn't actually that bad programming-wise, but testing is the trickier part.
Yes.
There's actually, like, surprisingly few hero cards that say the word villain. And most of them are sort of the same thing. So, there wasn't a whole lot to worry about.
Yeah, my gut tells me that it's more than villain. It says non-hero.
Yeah,
is that
non-hero
right?
is common, I think, than villain. Are you gonna pick a deck?
Everyone's AFK, so I'm afraid to do it because I got yelled at the last time.
We're AFK because we're waiting for you.
We're waiting for me?
Yes.
All right. There you go.
This is you. This shouldn't be a vote. If it's a vote, that's a bug.
It's a vote because everyone's AFK, I think.
Oh, this is... You discarded a card. You should reveal the top card of a deck. Don't pick Legacy. The only thing I said was don't pick Legacy. Wow, we're really good at Sentinels.
I feel like that was a while ago, and I cannot be expected to remember that.
That was like a minute ago.
Minute in internet time, though. It's like...
All right, I'm going to write a bug about that.
Even though Monkey says, you all have beards tonight, and I have shaved mine off yesterday. I miss it already. Well, I don't tell you, Evil Ice Monkey. You shaved it.
I've had a beard since I was 17.
And you've never shaved it?
Only one time. It was just a few years after that. I was in Europe with my girlfriend, and she's like, I've never seen your face. We're in Europe for 2 months. Shave it off, and I can see your face. And then you can grow it back, and no one at home will have to know. And so I shaved it off, and then she looked at me and was like, okay, you can grow it back now.
Like, oh my god, I didn't want to see that.
Yes, exactly. I've done the same thing. I did a 6-week European venture with my now wife, at that time girlfriend, and it was I feel you.
It was all in good fun, although it did make when you grow a beard, of course, you get that phase where it gets super itchy, and having your beard be super itchy when you're on 12-hour train rides and stuff was perhaps not the best, but
So the order mattered there. But that's fine. I think it was fine.
We're fine. It's all fine.
So remember, dealing damage is considered harmful. Unless you have many instances like Tempest does. So I'm going to go with Motivational Charge, but I'm not going to hit myself with it. I think Tempest Power is still okay to use because you're going to hit yourself. For the first one's going to hit yourself, but it'll be 0, right? So you actually have a power that's pretty safe with Maze of Mirrors once you have that otherworldly resilience.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so just to go back to the beard conversation, because this is, of course, Handelabra's weekly beard conversation, is when I shave my beard entirely, I think I look like Kermit the Frog, and I don't like looking like Kermit the Frog. So I try not to shave it completely if I can avoid it.
Oof, I guess you are the hero with the highest hit points, so your Gene Van Shackles are going to hit you. But actually, no, they're not. You can say no when about the tie. So if you say no, then yeah, Victor increases the damage by 1. But and here I would make sure to hit the don't. I would not vote for choose for me. I would not do choose for me like Jeremy suggests, because we are playing Voss, and so I would kill the minions first.
Yeah.
I didn't vote for choose for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure did.
I voted for Genebound Firesworn, and then I voted
video
for
evidence.
Genebound Shock Infantry. That was what I was voting for. I can't speak for anybody else.
I guess it's still 0 because Genebound Shackles isn't working. It's reflecting.
I don't know who Gene is, but he's apparently very charismatic.
And he likes being bound.
It's fine. It's a lifestyle choice.
Oh, Gene. What are you doing to me? Legacy, what are you going to do?
I can't remember who it was. Oh, yeah, it was I am Nick Chick. Has to choose between Chris's forehead or Chris's iPad. You're going to get either one.
Well, that is my lovely wife, so she can see my face anytime she wants.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ah! Nice. Well played. Good job, I am Nick Chick.
I'm going to discard a card because I want. Yeah, so here, is this a vote? Yeah, this shouldn't be a vote. That's the bug. So I made a card for that. Like, I discard the card. I get to reveal. Where are my one-shots? They're not my deck.
Man, we need to get rid of some environment cards. They're just stacking up like crazy.
So you're not seeing the chat, but your wife said, and business partner, smartass.
It is true. Nicole is one of the owners of Green Ronin Publishing. She is my partner in all things.
Cool.
All right, so we have another question that just came in. What made you choose Eldritch and Lantern Jack
Maybe
in particular?
ask the question when it's not Chris's turn.
Oh, all right. Finish your turn, and then I'll ask the question.
Yeah. So what do you think? Electrical Storm safe to play in this environment? It's non-hero.
It's
Deals each
non-hero.
non-hero to get 1 lightning damage.
Cleansing Downpour is not bad too because
We are getting a little beaten up. Yeah.
that's not damage related.
Yes.
There is a card in this environment that will blow up the attractions, so.
Oh, well, that would be good.
Actually, maybe.
Alright. Should I do some healing or lay some more damage on these fellows?
The problem is, yeah, I don't know. I think the healing is good, but the damage, you will get some damage through, it just won't be.
Let's get some health back.
Some healing rain. All right, ask your question, Jeremy. Or I'll ask the question since now it's your turn. What made you choose Eldritch and Lantern Jack in particular over another character like Foreshadow for the add-on decks? I'm curious to get a peek into the decision process. Happy
Sure. Well, so I wanted to add, get some decks in there that added sort of a mystical element to it. In particular, like I always liked the villain of Malador the Mystic, and Eldritch is basically like his nemesis, so that seemed natural. And Lantern Jack I just thought was cool because I'm a history nerd, and so the idea of sort of a mystical hero that sort of goes back to the Revolutionary War, I just liked it.
Cool. Actually, I have a question about those add-on decks. I don't know if it was answered in the comments there. Is all the text on them just sort of placeholder?
For the add-ons, it is.
Okay. So there's, because there was definitely a lot of talk about magic damage. Is there a new magic? Is there a new damage type? Blah blah blah. Probably not.
Yeah.
Or maybe. But...
The mock-up cards I posted today have actual text on them from Christopher's design, but the add-ons he hasn't started working on yet. So.
Jeremy, did you use your power to only deal yourself damage?
I might have.
Do you want
All
to
right,
rewind?
let's rewind. Oh, my goodness. I forgot about the whole Maze of Mirrors thing. And then you guys were talking and I didn't want to interrupt.
This live stream brought to you by multitasking.
And Collingwood whiskey. All right. Hit the rewind button at the top there, and we'll go to use a power. We'll need you to do this. Join us.
I'm still seeing the select a player, discard a card.
Oh, so hit meanwhile.
Hit meanwhile and go to the rewind button at the top right, left corner.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So I'm going to skip.
Djomatic asks, will I be able to buy the add-on decks similarly to the mini expansion decks in Sentinels of the Multiverse? I assume that means like later in retail.
Yes.
Sounds like you've got a new backup.
Hey.
Djomatic says, I don't think I can back otherwise. So we have another Gone Without a Trace.
World's biggest.
And The Forsaken One wants to know if Jeremy has some special fluid in his e-cigarette that is making him hit himself only.
It's not special fluid. The special fluid is not in this. It's in this.
Right, I don't think the order matters here because nothing's going to get destroyed. And this is not a good situation. We need to destroy some of these farming cards.
Yeah.
All right, say no. Guess that we could have made the order so that wouldn't happen for sure. You don't want to increase damage dealt to yourself.
Metal
rule
Sprue
I try to
says,
live
I
by.
just hit 1 a.m. here, so I'm signing out. All right, Metal Sprue, thanks for joining us. Have a great
night.
evening. You must be somewhere in Europa.
All right. We want anyone to discard to... You have an assault rifle you have already. You want to discard that to do something cool?
Sure.
Maybe you can get an RPG launcher or something.
Something that confuses role-playing game fans all the time. I see a news
Is it a
report.
one-shot?
It
It
is.
is a RPG launcher! Maze of Mirrors.
Maze of Mirrors?
I mean, I don't... Unless we have another way to get rid of it, it's like super annoying.
Yep,
and causes
I'm fine with that.
a lot of problems. So...
Yay! Well, an RPG is a good way to get rid of the Maze of Mirrors. Now we're talking.
Do we want to hit the translocator, or should we keep trying to get Victor out of the way?
I think like we'll be able to easily kill Victor. You won't be able to kill him now, and I'll be able to kill him on my turn. So I'd probably get rid of the translocator because that can cause problems. So, and we don't have enough attractions anymore, I think, to make Victor kill himself. Yeah, the Takewalker points out the downside of all seeing as Rollbar is you run out of cards in your hand. It's true. So it's nice if you have Parse and she can get damage boosts from discarding. So yeah, I have one card left. I don't know if you want to discard one, Chris, for this.
Let's see what I even have in my hand right now. Sure.
Okay.
Oh man, Localized Hurricane, that's like my favorite card.
I was like, you discarded Jeremy's favorite card.
I enjoy that card, but because we've been taking a decent amount of damage so far, I decided, maybe don't hurt myself.
Oh, we got a one-shot from Tempest. A lightning slash.
Ah, there we go. Talking.
Yeah, I think probably actually the Psyweaver because it's going to go up and hit us all for 3 damage. Hitting Voss for 7 is
I was
pretty
gonna say Voss for 7.
Yeah,
Come on.
I was like, I don't know, that looks pretty good.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad call. I think that's a good call. I think we're all just going to take a hit here.
I'll spray some rain on you later. You'll feel fine.
Woohoo! Well, I will play lead from the front. And how about you you don't have to spray rain right now. I don't want to say that. I will let you use the power and you do what you want.
Okay. Sounds good. Let yourself be cleansed.
So another question, which I assume is for you, do you have any suggestions for those of us out there that might want to design and distribute an RPG system one day? It's a real small question, a real simple question. Yes or no answer.
Yes. Actually, yeah. Yes or no answer.
Is a yes or no answer.
You suggest that they do that, yes or no?
Yeah, that's a very large question. What I would say is that it's easier now to be a role-playing game publisher than it has ever been before. Like, when I got into doing this, if you wanted to print a book, you had to commit to printing at least 1,000 books, and you might not sell 1,000 books, so you had to have money up front and yada yada yada. And so, but the technological leaps forward that we've had in the last 25 years means that you can start by publishing PDFs, which have a much lower upfront cost, and then the quality of print-on-demand printing has increased like massively. When that first came around in the 90s, it looked terrible, but now is totally reasonable. And so that means you can work with someone like Lightning Source or through RPG Now, and people can get print copies of your stuff without you having to pay to print it or to warehouse it. And so it allows you, even as a single person, to realistically take on publishing. So,
or as a person with a lovely business partner.
In fact, I have 2 lovely business partners. There is Nicole, of course, who we've already talked about, and Hal Mangold, who does our graphic design and art direction. So he will be the one making Sentinels of Earth Prime look real pretty. Okay. Let's see. Let's get all electrical stuff. Alright. Do you want more healing, or should I lay more whoop-ass on Voss?
I think the whoop-ass is good.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy will be able to take out the Psyweaver, so...
By whoop-ass, I mean 1 damage.
Actually, yeah, I think... No, the environment won't destroy things, I don't think, this turn. Pricey Province State, hello from past YouTube. Oh, is it the past YouTube? Or the past, YouTube?
Who is that?
Pricey Provinces, also known, or actually the nemesis of cheap states.
Yes.
You might want to discard one of your shielding winds for this, potentially.
Yep. I had not even noticed that I had 2 shields. Should I give it to myself?
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of funny. On the tabletop, I'm this sort of card, like Elsing Elzrobar, on the tabletop, you often I find you forget that you have that at your end of your turn, and then you on the next player's turn, you're like, oh wait, I want to do this, and then that's sort of balanced on the video game. You're never going to forget it, but it's also going to be something that comes up every time.
Yeah.
Like Obsidian Field. That was kind of a similar thing. It's an interesting difference between just sort of the feel of the digital version versus the physical version. I guess you could have an assistant on the tabletop who you have another person who their job is to ask you at the end of your turn about things like that.
That's a good job for children, perhaps.
Yeah. Or there's a card in this deck which is you can destroy this at any time. So on the tabletop, it'd just be someone who's just always do you want to destroy it now? Do you want to destroy it now? You want to destroy it now?
Hey, you want to destroy it now?
Which is kind of how the video game would have had to work unless we changed it.
Yeah.
How about now? That's right now.
Yeah, but now.
We all have one card.
You want to discard a card now?
I mean, the thing is, I have a card that I don't want to play, so I may as well discard it and see if I have a one-shot on top.
All right.
It's not a one-shot, but it's a good card. So.
And another unstable midway comes out.
Who has the highest? Definitely Legacy with Danger
I was
Sense.
going to say Legacy with Danger Sense seems like the right choice there.
Seems like. Probably it.
It's like I'll look up and realize I'm covering half my face with my iPad. Sorry, viewers.
You're
covering
fine.
I know you want maximum time with my lovely face.
Alright, I assume you probably neither want to discard your last card.
Nope.
Out comes a Firesworn.
Do I want to redirect? No. The answer is no.
Alright.
Oh,
we're all tied. Oh.
nitrogen rounding. That's good. I like liquid nitrogen rounds.
I
They're
did.
cool.
I hit him. I hit him with the cool liquid nitrogen rounds.
I've got some defense.
Yeah, that's probably best to take less damage. Evil Dice Monkey says, wait, your face isn't half beard, half iPad? You could probably hide an iPad in a good beard, says DJ Matt. I don't think any of us have a beard like that you could fit an iPad into.
Yeah, that was just a real Civil War beard, you know.
Alright, so... do you want me to give you another +1 damage for unload on your turn?
Ooh.
That seems like good.
I'll take that. I'll take aim.
Take aim. And I will throw a punch at Voss. Take that, evildoer!
I will punch you in space.
Yeah, let's get that. Captain Caveman! Oh, and here we have a automatic damage Otron.
Alright, I think we're gonna get this guy on the rope soon.
Yep.
I concur with that assessment.
Inbound smashing.
Alright.
Captain Caveman!
at the start of the environment turn, that minion is going to be dead. So, Jeremy, don't worry about specifically hitting it.
Well, I'm going to kill it now anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you'll kill it, but you'll hurt it. And Jeremy will probably kill it, like, anyways. But
Yeah, incidentally.
the splash damage. Cakewalker says, no, it's Captain Caveman.
Indeed.
Hopefully that was closer. Do you want to discard anything, anyone?
I do not.
No. Alright, so let's unload.
Now we're talking.
Alright, so if I...
Actually, yeah, assault rifle will clear out that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna aim first, then I'm gonna assault rifle. I get 3 powers.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assault rifle and get rid of the Gene-bound Firesworn. Then hit Voss for 4. Then
Shoot Tempest in the
dealing
face.
damage. Then I'm going to
You only have 1 left, so you want to use pride.
Yes, I'll use pride. I was gonna say,
don't
what are you
get to
doing
terminate
voting
with-
for prejudice?
I clicked wrong. You don't get to terminate with extreme prejudice, which is always fun.
Indeed. And I draw an RPG launcher.
And if you don't think Christopher would do something like that intentionally, you would be wrong.
Yes,
Yeah.
you would be very confused.
There are so many interactions in this game that are like, wow, did they plan that? The answer is probably yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's one of those things where like you might think, wow, that seems really esoteric for Christopher to have thought it through, and then we'll have like a meeting with him. We're like, hey, Christopher, here's what happens if you do X, Y, and Z. He's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. That's exactly what I was thinking. And we're like, man, you are operating on like a whole other level. And the unload interaction is one of those. For those who are following along at home, the idea that like if you unload, so here's what we're saying. If you unload, you get to use as many powers as if you have guns in play. But one of your guns says use this power that's on another gun. That allows you to essentially use 1 extra gun. And when we brought that back to Christopher and said, "Hey, is this right?" He was like, "Yep, that's exactly right."
Mm-hmm.
The midway is exploding.
It's very unstable.
But I think we have more HPs than Voss does now, so. Oh my goodness. It's triply unstable.
This is the most unstable midway that has ever been unstable.
This is still the start of the environment turn, so this one's going to go off as well.
Just play another unstable.
You won't believe your eyes. Each character. Oh my god. We. Oh, good. Shielding Winds
Let's
is
bring
saving
that
our
up.
butt.
You won't believe your eyes. At the start of the environment turn, each character card deals itself X psychic damage, where X equals the number of attractions in play. If fewer than 5 targets took damage, this way to destroy the card. Wait.
Jeremy, the flavor text is for you.
Hello again, my old foe, Baron Blade crowed as Legacy entered the room. Have you met my daughter, Ivanka? She follows closely in her father's footsteps. Indeed.
All right, so
I added a K to that.
yeah, you definitely did.
I totally did not mean to do that. Ivana.
Oh.
She follows closely in her father's footsteps.
So luckily that Shielding Winds is going to help us out, though it doesn't help Tempest out. Oof. And that gets destroyed. And a Carousel of Horror. Actually, we've had more cards played from this environment, I think, this stream than in all of the previous times we've shown it combined.
I agree. So Carousel of Horror. At the end of the environment turn, discard the top card of each deck Whenever a target is discarded this way, each hero target deals itself 1 psychic damage. Ooh.
So I don't think we've gotten to that card yet. We're at Wheel of Misfortune. At the end of the environment turn, reveal the top card of an environment deck. And it must have not been attraction because each target's dealing itself damage.
Well,
that Surge of Strength, I think, has done more damage to me than it has to anyone else. Is Expatriette gonna die?
seems possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are going to hit yourself from Gone Without a Trace. So, you should discard your card and try for something because you are going to get knocked out. You could try yourself. I don't know if that's a good idea, though. I think Tempest or Legacy are probably better bets. Tempest might have Destroy Environment card. Like, that's your fingers. Flash Flood.
That's true.
But nope.
Wah, wah.
So here's an interaction that I'm sure we'll get a question about. Because actually this shouldn't be a question. This is a bug. You do not get to remove Dark Watch Expatriette from the game because when a hero character card flips, it is instead of being destroyed, it flips. So this should not be a thing. I'm gonna write a bug.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't this related to the Final Wasteland question? Because the Final Wasteland with Ultimate
Final
Wasteland
says instead of being destroyed, it's removed from the game. So you have two things that say instead of being destroyed, and you have to pick one. This one does not say that.
I assume I should hit no then.
In order to make the game work properly, yeah, we'll say no.
I don't think this matters, does it?
Sorry.
John's making a
Carousel
bug
of
report.
horror. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. It's just, yeah. Voss is gonna make us hit ourselves with Surge of Strength.
Well, I'm glad I got out that otherworldly resistance or resilience.
Yeah, that's been good. This can, I guess it's, so whoever gets hit by this is then also going to get hit by the fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, so I mean, I have otherworldly resilience, but also he does extra damage to me because I'm his nemesis. Right?
Yeah.
So that's
So if we give this to Legacy, then you'll take -1 from the shock infantry. So I think that's better.
Okay.
And we could discard to play one shot. I think I might not play Takedown because I might die if I play Takedown.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll discard it and see if I have a one shot on top of my deck. And I do.
Oh, nice.
I draw more cards. Oh, perfect.
There you go.
And no, I won't redirect this.
Ooh, I can destroy environment cards.
All right, I'm gonna punch Voss for 4 damage, and I'm gonna let you use a power. I think we got this. We don't need Jeremy.
I'll just hang back, and drink my martini, aka vodka, ice, and olives.
I think the damage. I think we got him with damage if we keep hitting him.
Alright, so not cleansing downpour then?
Yeah, I would use that.
Punching. Just punch or electricity.
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, because your boost, that's getting right through, so. And I've
Right.
got motivational healing. It's not rain-based healing, but it still works. And I guess I may as well discard a card, and maybe I'll get a one-shot to finish the game. It was not a one-shot. So Tempest is going to finish it off against his old nemesis.
As it should be. An electrical storm. Yes. Yes, he is. Ha ha ha!
Huzzah!
Alien tyrant, fall from the sky.
Take that! How dare you try to invade our carnival?
I think the carnival had more to say about it than we did.
Indeed.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played a game with that many environment cards in play at the same time. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. That environment can get out of control. Sort of like Omnicron.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right, so Chris, you want to hang with us for game 2, or are you gonna take off?
I can play again if you want.
All right.
Probably won't be as long.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
We can get the chat to send in their questions for Chris now in between games, and we'll have a little question period while we're setting up.
While we're working out what we're gonna play for game 2, let us know what your questions are.
Question time. Question for Chris: XPs or XP from Evil Dice Monkey?
There's no game
XP.
audio. What?
Like,
XP.
I will transcribe the question: capital X, capital P, lowercase s, or capital X, capital P? Question mark.
Right. No, I understood the question.
Okay.
So my answer was XP. Is what I say. But
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I don't know that there's a technically correct answer, but
There hasn't been game.
that stands
game
for
audio at
experience
all.
points for you.
Oh, and hit new game on the screen there, Chris.
Oh, okay.
There hasn't been any game audio all night. Well,
What?
that's. I mean, if you're the first person saying that, it's probably you. Valerie asks, are there any villain or hero mechanics you are excited to see in the card game?
I'm curious to see what new mechanics Christopher comes up with. I literally have no idea how he plans to model certain things and what sort of new mechanics might be required. So I guess I'm I'm excited in a general sense. I don't have a specific thing I'm excited about.
I guess you might be excited because you know what he's capable of.
Well, I mean, it's when you get one of the new decks, parsing it out is always part of the fun, right? So
Yeah.
what is this deck? You read the individual cards, but then you're like, yeah, but what does this deck do actually when you play it? And, how do these pieces fit together?
Yeah, and Christopher's talked about in interviews about how he has a lot more experience designing card games after since he did the first Sentinels of the Multiverse core game.
Yeah,
and so I'm really looking forward to how he's going to bring all of his experience to the table, because Earth Prime is going to be a new core game, so it's not necessarily probably going to be like crazy characters like Guise or anything like that, right? But like him taking all that experience in like crafting decks to a new core game, I think is going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to how he brings that to the table. Literally.
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, is this you just going to be reskinning these existing characters?" And it's just like, no, he is designing new decks from the ground up for the Earth Prime characters. So
yeah, Christopher would never do that.
No.
Yeah.
He said, "Look, if I can't design 2 different speedster decks, that work in different ways, but are both speedsters, then I should hang up my design hat, essentially. So yes.
The Forsaken one says the newest version of Paranoia has XP points.
Well, that's
something that Paranoia would do.
Yeah.
So I assume Jeremy's trying to figure out the audio.
I am. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Sandra asks, what information is Christopher trying to get out of you for his design of the decks? What will you do with flavor text in Earth Prime?
So one of the nice things about adapting Mutants and Masterminds to another format is that we can provide a game stat block that tells a lot about the character already, and conveniently Christopher has a long history of Mutants and Masterminds. He played the game shortly after it first came out, and he ran a campaign that actually some of the Sentinels characters started in his Mutants and Masterminds campaign. So that is cool, but also means that he understands the rules enough to parse a stat block, so that's nice. But one of the things he also asked us to do was if we could provide some sort of write-ups on sort of like the sorts of things the characters might do, to give him ideas for cards and things like that. So Steve Henson, who's the designer of Mutants and Masterminds, he wrote up a document for Christopher, going through character by character to give those sorts of ideas.
Cool. Like the bit where it was like, oh, that character has a shield?
Yeah. Yeah. When he saw the cover art, he's like, oh, Lady Liberty can do that? I'm like, yeah. So, yes, that sort of thing.
People are carrying on with the Paranoia thing. Your clearance is not high enough to ponder the extra P. The computer has been notified of this violation.
Of course.
I haven't played Paranoia, but I want to sometime because it looks like
I mean, they have rules for you can play a campaign, but literally every time I've played Paranoia, it's all just fallen apart in one session. And soon everyone is trying to kill each other with bitter recriminations. So.
I think that's intentional.
Yeah.
There's a question from M29G Gamer that I'll take. Do you have any plans for digital Sentinels of Earth Prime if we fail to meet the stretch goal? We would like to make the digital version regardless. The stretch goal is to make sure we can make it. So that's going to, we're looking at the Kickstarter for demand and financial responsibility, basically.
Exactly. All right, it sounds like people have noticed that the audio is coming in. Audio is live. Some of that is a result of the beta testing process. Some different versions of the app have been published to the local sort of, branch that we use. And so it looks like maybe Game Show, which is our streaming software, was not using the right one. And that could be why that was working. But it looks like now it is. So sounds like you guys are hearing it.
I
can keep randomizing until we find something cool.
Well, one more question here, and then we'll pick things. Evil Disming asks, for Chris, do you have any ideas on which artists and pieces you want to use for the decks? Are you commissioning new pieces for the decks?
Yes. The art that we've been using so far comes from role-playing game books, but one of the major expenses that was the reason we did the Kickstarter in the first place was to get new art for all the decks. So we have gone back and forth on how to handle the art exactly. There was a point where we thought we would hire a different artist for each deck. So within a deck, it would have kind of a unified style. But now Hal, our art director, he has sort of swung the other way and is thinking that we probably want to make a deal with a studio like Conceptopolis to try to provide art that is of a consistent style throughout the whole game.
Right.
So one of the advantages Sentinels had is one artist does all the art, which
It's an advantage and a disadvantage.
Yeah.
To be fair.
As far as having a unified look,
But yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely has that. So yes, I think we're going to be looking to hiring a studio, and it might be Conceptopolis. We've used them on a bunch of covers for different Mutants and Masterminds books, and they always turn in good work. So.
I'm randomizing until we're finished asking these
Stop
questions.
pressing that button.
All right, I'm done. I'm stopping pressing it. Deadline at Court of Blood.
Sure.
All right, Chris, pick a hero, and then we're ready to go.
Okay, let's see. Should I play my old standby Wraith? Let's see.
I think you should play your old standby Wraith.
Okay.
That's what I think. I got Parse, which I'm happy to stay with.
Court of Blood.
The Court of Blood. Deadline destruction. Oh, excuse me.
Another question that has come in at the deadline.
Yeah.
How did this collaboration come about from Balawi?
Well, funny story.
Hit ready as you answer it.
Okay.
There we go.
So it was like 5 or 6 years ago. It was at Penny Arcade Expo here in Seattle. We actually had a booth that was right next door to Greater Than Games, and so that's when I first met Christopher. But because it was the middle of a convention, we didn't really have a chance to get to know each other much. It was just sort of like, howdy neighbor, and but then 3 years ago, Nicole and I went on the Jonathan Colton cruise for the first time, and Christopher and his soon-to-be wife were also on that cruise, and we had the opportunity over 8 days or whatever to hang out and start talking, and so that's when I discovered that he really liked Mutants and Masterminds, and I had been playing Sentinels, and so we formed a mutual admiration society, and it did not take long for us to talk about, how could we do something together, and it'd be cool to do a comic style like crossover event, and that's kind of how it all started. And it took a while to actually work through what we wanted to do and how we were going to structure the deal and all that stuff, but the seeds of that were planted on that cruise 3 years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so real quick, Guise is opening with a blatant reference. I can do that. 2 say cheese. Parse has got impossible shot, quick calculations, syntactic analysis, and updated intel. And Wraith has got an impromptu invention, infrared eyepiece, micro-targeting computer, and utility belt. Someone asked in the chat, did Parse gain weight? And someone responded to say that was the way she was always meant to be drawn. Adam has actually canonically said this, at least to us, that this is the way Parse was always meant to be portrayed, but that he had not drawn her quite this way before. And so this is Parse as she was always meant to be seen. So,
yeah.
All right.
If you have art questions, it's probably best to just directly ask Adam on Twitter, because we can't really speak for him generally.
I think it's at GTG_Adam. I believe that is his Twitter.
I think it's all together, but
yeah, it might be GTG Adam with no underscore. Check that out. See what you can find. All right, so let's see what Deadline has for us. Atomic Enclave.
They want you to play some Time Cataclysm.
Unleash Hurricane.
So I gotta assume all these characters are from season 2, because I have not
Oh.
played them.
Actually,
it's
no.
all gonna be new to me.
Yeah, Guise
one
is
of
from the
them.
very end of season 1, as is Deadline. He's from Wrath of the... They're both from Wrath of the... Or, excuse me. Deadline is Wrath of the Cosmos. Guise is Minipack 3. And then Parse is from Vengeance. And Wraith, of course, is from the core game.
Okay.
And the Court of Blood is from Villains of the Multiverse. And so Guise is all about being the best and kicking butt. He has lots of abilities to help him copy other characters' abilities and just do cooler things than they can possibly think of. So Deadline here has played a couple Unleashed Hurricanes, which will slow us down by putting cards from hand on top of our deck. Do we have any way to get rid of ongoing cards at the moment? I don't think so. So I guess we'll just shoot Deadline a bunch.
I support that decision.
All right. Well, I am going to... I think I'm going to hold on to... I can do that too. I'm going to hold on to my damage till I can get a little more damage boosts going on.
Lou Dolphin is the hero we need. Maybe the hero we deserve. He says, to be honest, I don't like Guise as much as other people do. I have tried to love Guise as much as the people who love Guise, and I have been unable to do so.
Guise can have pretty ridiculous shenanigans.
He has ridiculous shenanigans, but I don't know that I like ridiculous shenanigans. I like playing heroes, is my thing. I don't know.
But he's the best hero. He has the best card ever, which I just drew.
He does have the best card ever. There's no question about that. All right. Do I want impossible shots?
So I think if Guise had been made like this year, the butler, who is definitely not Alfred, would probably be holding a plate of lobster thermidor.
Wait. I played
Jeremy?
the wrong card. I played the wrong card!
Well, damn the brakes.
No, those are no breaks. Those are no breaks. I was literally about to say, for those of you who are looking to me to play Parse in a really intelligent way, I need you to be prepared for the fact that I'm not going to do that.
Good thing you didn't say that.
Yeah. Chris, if you could go to rewind and hit play card on Parse, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much.
I'll allow it.
I meant to play Impossible Shot.
This is fun.
I'm generous.
Yeah, so generally speaking, game 1 is where we step through the mechanics very carefully. Game 2 is where we just sort of go crazy.
We usually had more whiskey by game 2.
Exactly right.
I should have got some whiskey for game 2. Maybe my lovely and awesome wife would send my equally excellent stepdaughter up here with some whiskey.
It almost sounds like she's watching.
I won't ask her to do it because she is currently sick, so the last thing
Aww.
she should be doing is fetching whiskey for non-sick.
Indeed.
Alright, impromptu invention. If I must.
That was previously the best card ever.
Indeed.
Alrighty. So with this particular villain, you think I want Razor Ordnance or the Throwing Knives?
Jeremy, do you want to read what I Am Nick Chick said?
Are you kidding me? Are you seriously gonna try and have a stepkid come up and bring you whiskey? I'm ad-libbing.
The first part was the quote.
Yes, I also have a wife, and I know that would be a very similar scenario.
Thanks, honey.
If I was like, "Hey, honey, can you have our daughter bring up whiskey?" She would. That is exactly, directly, 100% exactly what you would say.
Now my stepdaughter is 21, so she's legal.
Oh well. In that case, my daughter's 11, so that would be a very different situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to get home tonight, and in the current state that I'm in, and my wife is going to say, "Are you kidding me?" And all my kids are going to be asleep. So.
That's right. You miss bedtime on Thursdays or Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays, yes, I miss bedtime.
Should I attack this glaive or just lay it on this dude?
With Deadline, I usually go after him.
Yeah. Just splash damage for the glaive.
Yeah, because the problem with Deadline is that, as we've discussed in previous streams, and we'll discuss it again, Deadline is not really trying to kill the heroes. He's basically trying to destroy everything with the hope of stopping the heroes. And so that's sort of what his environmental damage is about. Is like.
Well, no, he doesn't want to stop the heroes. He wants to stop Oblivion.
He wants to stop Oblivion, exactly right. And so by destroying the environment and destroying the heroes, he's basically like, stop everything. That's his thing. And so if you can stop him before he stops everything, that's kind of what I go for.
Gotcha.
So we can game this a little bit. There are 2 Unleashed Hurricanes, so we can have 2 cards go on top of someone's deck, and Parse can play Syntactic Analysis to let them play both of those cards.
Yes, Cytosine, I am not driving. I take the train home on Tuesday nights. Don't worry.
So what I would recommend, I'm thinking here, is to have Wraith put Impromptu Invention and Micro-Targeting on top of her deck and and then Parse could let her play them. That's one idea we could do here.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to complain about that.
Are you into that, Jeremy?
Yeah, do it.
Requires you to do that, so. Or whatever 2 cards you want to play, basically. They'll be on top of your deck. You guys are both AFK, so.
Yeah, Deadlock PM says good old RTA. That's exactly right. The Rapid Transit Authority. That's what I take home on Tuesday nights. Actually, that's what I take home every night, but...
Evil Dice Monkey, you should assume all drunks on your train on the way home have been streaming Sentinels. And are streaming Sentinels at that time. They are streaming Sentinels while drunk on the train. That's our new Wednesday night show.
I do not stream Sentinels drunk on the train. When I play drunk on the train, it used to be Zelda. Now it is The Binding of Isaac. On my Nintendo Switch. Yep.
Do you bring your Switch to work in the morning?
Every day.
All right, well, here Deadline's going to flip. And take out a bunch of the Court of Blood.
Yeah, Provarmatage says he plans to destroy Earth to serve as a fire break to save the rest of the universe. That's exactly right. Yeah, he knows that Oblivion sees Earth as kind of like...
No, Cytosine points out that he doesn't know about Oblivion. He just knows that something's happening.
He knows that something is happening, right? Exactly right. And so he realizes there's some sort of nexus happening at Earth, and it's like, if I can just destroy Earth, maybe that'll stop whatever this is that's happening.
And disrupt whatever's going to happen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Unpopular opinion on Earth.
And to be fair, I have not yet listened to today's letters page, which is about the Vengeful Five. There may be some cool little story bits that have, snuck out in that, but I have not listened to it yet.
So Deadline removed the Angry Mob and Dame Katarina and the two Infecting an Air cards. All right. Well, I think I'll go ahead and play the best card ever because I get to draw 2 cards, and that's pretty rad.
That is
Thank
totally
you, my wife.
radical.
Did you get whiskey?
I did.
Hey!
My lovely wife brought me whiskey.
Woohoo!
Cheers, honey.
Nice.
Also, cheers to everyone who has backed Sentinels of Earth Prime.
Amen to that. Cheers to you for backing Sentinels
I
of
have
Earth Prime.
an empty glass, but I will still cheers. Yeah, Sentinels of Earth Prime will be a reality. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out the Sentinels of Earth Prime Kickstarter lately, just this past weekend they added a couple of add-ons for some new mini-pack decks. And there's all kinds of cool stuff that you can still unlock if you get into some stretch goals.
Yes.
Go check it out.
For example, a video game.
For example, a digital version. That would be neat. All right, I have to actually pop open Parse's cards because I play her so infrequently that I don't know.
Remember, we had a plan. Did you forget already?
I'm reading her cards.
All right.
Syntactic analysis. Oh, yes, I remember the plan now. All right, I'm still reading the cards, though. Updated intel. Yeah. I don't know enough about Parse. Like, I haven't played her enough. I need to play her more in testing.
Or live on the stream.
Or live on the stream, as it were. All right, Wraith, what do you got?
Oh, you know, I've got an impromptu invention. I would like to play it. Okay.
Well, that's a pretty quick setup for the Wraith.
Indeed. I do just want to remind everybody that the catastrophes are ongoing. So, unlike when we're playing against, for instance, Progeny. Where his ridiculous nonsense is not ongoing, so they cannot be killed. These ones are. Alright, and I'll go ahead and hit deadline for a couple. By the way, I just want to real quick thank the chat for letting me know that the music was not playing, so that we could get that fixed. Because that was not a thing we were aware of through the entire first game.
All right. Man, I've never had all this gear out so fast when playing Wraith. So nice. Okay.
Evil Dice Monkey has a horrible thought. The hairdryer is for when they really, really need more cold damage from Absolute Zero.
Isn't it in time? Is it? No, it's Realm of Discord when the hairdryer has become sentient.
Yeah, and induced vitality. Hey, Wraith, let's go fight crime.
Matron Erzi comes out.
Doesn't do too much.
Increased radiant damage to this card by 1. Reduced damage dealt to vampires by 1. At the end of the environment turn, each vampire regains 1 HP.
Wait, there are vampires?
Vampires? Surely the Slayer can deal with them.
Guys can take this. He's super cool.
He is. He's like the man. He's pretty much the greatest hero.
He is pretty much. So I'm going to... You don't mind if I borrow something from you there, Chris?
I mean, as long as you give it back.
I'll give it back later. I'm going to just borrow that micro-targeting computer and play a blatant reference.
Sockfoot 2000 says the music was playing through much of the first game. Yes, so the music was playing because that was Time Cataclysm, which I play whenever we're playing an environment that doesn't have music yet. The issue is the sound effects and like the audio from the actual game itself was not playing, which we have now apparently remedied.
So I borrowed your micro-targeting computer, so I get +2 damage to projectile damage.
All right, what do I want to do? I'm reading through my critical multiplier calculation, updated intel. Yeah, none of these are cards that deal damage right away.
One of them's a card that increases damage.
Yeah, one increases damage, so that's kind of the one I'm leaning towards.
So if you're playing Parse and your first thought is which card deals damage, you're not playing Parse, right?
I believe, John, that I said right up front, for those of you who are looking for me to play Parse correctly, you are in for a disappointment, because...
That's right, but we can make it a learning experience.
It is a learning experience. All right,
like Buffer Overflow is an excellent card that can stop terrible cards from happening.
Yeah, that was sort of my first thought, so I think I'm going to Buffer Overflow for now, and we can deal with what that means as it comes up.
And
Step decision.
Say what again? Again.
Alrighty. I could get rid of that magnetic pole shift, if you like.
I am in favor of that.
Okay. With my grappling hook.
Because that makes sense.
Good plan, my friend and fellow hero, the Wraith.
I'm going to throw my grappling hook at this thing that is a global catastrophe and pull it away, and that makes perfect sense.
First, I'm going to ionize my grappling hook, so then the polarity will... It's science, don't worry about it.
There are tachyons involved.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. For funsies, I can throw a knife at this vampire. Seems like you didn't actually give back my micro-targeting.
I give it back at the start of my turn.
Yeah.
You could have grappling hooked it.
That's true.
That'd be a waste of a perfectly good grappling hook.
Yes, we need to reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
Yes.
Exactly right.
Try inverse phasing.
Feast of flesh.
Feast of flesh.
Feast of flesh. One of us. And unhallowed halls. Let's bring those up since these are still new environments. Feast of Flesh is, of course, at the end of the environment turn, play the top card of the environment deck. Then, if there are at least 3 vampires in play, destroy this card. At the start of the environment turn, each vampire deals the hero target with the highest HP 2 melee damage. And the unhallowed halls, non-vampire targets cannot regain HP, potentially important. Targets cannot deal radiant damage and increase all infernal damage by 1.
Glad I'm not playing Fnatic.
Indeed.
I have to go AFK, but I'll return in a moment.
That's not okay.
You just settled. Just do what you want.
Oh boy. This is when John leaves and he comes back in 5 minutes and the game is like 1 HP from being lost.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Select the player to move a card on their deck. Parse is fine with this. Let's do one of these critical multipliers. Subduction Super Zone comes out, which is at the start of the villain turn, deadline deals each non-villain target 1 irreducible melee and 1 irreducible fire damage. Do you want to discard that? In order to get rid of my buffer overflow? Yeah, let's see what happens if we do that. And instead, Unnatural Disaster comes out, which is potentially worse. Severed Ley Line. And Calculated Orogenesis. Well, that's alright. I feel like we can deal with it. Alright, vote for a card for Guise to play. What do you think? Should we play his best card ever?
I mean, it is right there in the title.
It is the best card ever.
I should actually look at it.
Draw 2 cards. Guise deals 1 target 2 melee damage. Guise regains 1 HP.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Played. So he gets a selling out. And Guise the Barbarian gets to deal 2 damage, so we'll do that against the deadline.
Like the fabled alpaca.
I have returned. Like the fabled alpaca.
Up, and now he is doing his thing.
Ooh. I want to go with Guise the Barbarian now. I want to collect more cards. I think I may as well go now. Let's just do more damage, as Jeremy would.
So we all agreed we won't tell Migrant B what happened when he was gone. You can tell him if you want.
I'm going to use pinpoint shot. What happened while I was gone?
Don't worry about it, John.
All right.
It's all fine.
I mean, I can find out.
There may be.
You'll find out tomorrow when
cards that got
Krista.
played.
Yeah, when Krista posts it to the stream. All right. Let's see here. What was Snap Decision?
You can see on Twitch right away. Oh yeah, the community, the bit of community where Troy comes back with pizza and everything's on fire.
The darkest timeline. That's pretty much exactly what just happened.
Community is so good.
I realized recently that I actually never watched the series finale.
I haven't watched probably the last couple seasons because we just watch whatever's on Netflix and then so.
Right, so the last season was actually on Yahoo.
Oh, was it? So it's not on Netflix?
It is not on Netflix, and I don't think it's on Hulu or whatever the other things are.
Come on, can everyone just put their stuff on the same thing? And then that's not even going into different countries.
I was watching a show and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna cater a party for Yahoo's 20th anniversary, whatever it was," and I was like, "Yahoo's still in business?"
Yahoo's still a thing?
Yeah.
Maybe Community isn't on Netflix in the US, but it is in Canada. So maybe the later seasons are on Netflix in Canada. I can go find out right now.
I've only watched a handful of Community episodes. Of course, I had to watch the one where they play D&D because, you know.
Oh, such a good episode.
I think my favorites are the ones with the pillow forts versus blanket forts.
The one where they play off of the NPR documentary concept is amazing.
Please suck my
there's only 4 seasons of Community on Canadian Netflix, and I think we've watched all the ones that are on there. But they're 6 seasons in a movie was one of their things, right? But they only have 5 seasons, or were there 6?
There
were 6 seasons. They have not done a movie yet.
Okay, so there's a chance.
There is a chance.
Ooh, an angry mob.
You shouldn't be envious of Canadian Netflix. Let me just put that out there. Del Sorcier, yes, there are some things on there that aren't in the US, but the balance is heavily in the other way, the other direction.
The North Cafeteria, named after Admiral William North, is located in the western portion of East Hall, gateway to the western half of North Hall, which is named after William North. but for its position, which is named not after William North, but for its position above the south wall. It is the most contested and confusing battlefield in Greendale's campus, next to the English Memorial Spanish Center, named for English Memorial, a Portuguese sailor that discovered Greendale when looking for the fountain that cured syphilis. That is the quote I was looking for, because that is like the most amazing epic quote I've ever heard in my life. All right,
I'm going to suggest the Wraith puts a utility belt or something that you don't need on top.
Sure.
And we're all going to get pounded by Deadline here. Right in the environment.
Now, does Canadian Netflix have like a completely different set of World War II documentaries I could watch?
Probably not as many. Or it would definitely be different ones. There'd be more Canadian content.
Yes, remember Juno Beach or Vimy Ridge or something like that?
Yeah, Vimy Ridge.
Sorry.
I only get that because when I backpacked through Europe with my wife, we went to Normandy Beach, and I remember being like, oh, Juno Beach. That is like the Canadian, like, that's where the Canadians helped out. That's amazing.
Yep.
I would never have known that because I'm an American and I don't know anything about history.
The Canadians, like, went the furthest and went too far.
They went a beach too far.
I'm a history nerd.
Oh, wow, that's a lot
In
of...
particular, a World War II nerds.
You should check out, there's a Canadian movie that was made a few years ago about the Somme called Passchendaele. That's World War I, but if you're a World War II nerd, you're probably also a World War I nerd to some extent. So.
That is true.
My dad was
are you excited for Dunkirk?
Yes.
Because like that's not a topic that often gets movies made about it.
It's not. I actually, when I watched the first trailer for Dunkirk, I will go ahead and admit this because I'm a big enough man. I had to Google, is that World War I or World War II?
Oh. Well, that's a brave admission.
It is
a brave admission.
It is. What can I say?
Now you know more about airplanes.
I do. And then I went and watched the Wonder Woman trailer, and I was like, that's clearly World War I, and I'm in my element again.
Which was a curious choice, I thought. They picked World War I for the backdrop for the Wonder Woman movie. I'm not complaining. But,
yeah, I mean, I'm not a period piece person, but I'm going to go see Wonder Woman. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 this weekend, and that was sweet.
I have not seen it yet, but it will be a family outing pretty soon, I think.
I mean, spoiler alert, not actual spoilers. I like the first one better.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to like. Is it possible for them to make a better movie than the first Guardians of the Galaxy with the same characters? I don't know if that's possible. So,
like,
there is.
Tune into the Fastcast in the next week to find exactly how I felt about it. But I felt like the first movie overall was better. The second movie kind of lagged in the middle, but the ending was better. So that was kind of how I felt about Guardians of the Galaxy. The ending was better. I enjoyed the ending better, but the middle of it, I actually kind of was like zoning out a little bit.
It is a very rare sequel that is actually better than the original. So.
Yeah, and Evil Dice Monkey mentions that Guardians of the Galaxy is actually a period piece because, unlike most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's not set in the right now present. It's actually set like a few months after the first movie, so like a few years ago.
A couple of years ago?
A couple of years ago.
Exactly right. All right.
All right, he's at 14.
Yeah.
Targeting arrow time.
Yes, definitely targeting arrow time. Because
that
that is my
be
card that's going to deal damage.
And also make the Wraith deal a lot more damage.
Yes.
I think that's going to be game.
What does targeting arrow do?
I'll bring that up so I can read the exact card. Targeting arrow. Parse deals one target one irreducible damage. Increase damage dealt to that target by 1 until the start of your next turn.
Oh, nice.
And victory is only a few clicks away.
Indeed.
Oh.
All right. Sure.
Shadowstein hasn't seen the first one, but Guardians 2 is great. OMG.
What?
Watch the first movie.
Yeah, seriously, rep that. Rep that, man. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness. I'm sure the second movie makes sense, but you should watch the first movie and then go back and watch the second movie again.
Yeah,
But
I
you'll
will
get more.
say, like, I was kind of worried that I watched the trailers and it kind of spoiled the scenario about Star-Lord's dad, and then that's not really a spoiler in the trailer, in case you're curious. If you've watched the trailers.
Oh, look. Checkout deadline. Exactly.
Oh, down to zero!
Right on time.
Rick!
I destroyed your glaive, then I destroyed you. Wahahaha.
There it is, folks.
That was much easier than
Yes.
the first game.
Game 2, wherein we just sort of, talk and chill and do our thing and drink whiskey
Yeah.
and have a much easier game than Game 1. Good times, good times. All right, so Chris, anything you want to say about Sentinels of Earth Prime real quick before we...
So we've got just a bit over a week left on the Kickstarter, and there are, we've got 2,100 or so backers right now, and I know for sure there's way more Sentinels of the Multiverse fans out there. So I think you guys should all come to the Kickstarter, take a look, and if you want to see more decks and more Sentinels fun, please back us.
Indeed. If you want to guarantee that the Sentinels of Earth Prime decks will come to your ever so beloved digital version of Sentinels of the Multiverse, you should definitely take a look and back it. That is what I
put the
can
link
say
to
about
Kickstarter in the chat.
that. Are you going to put it?
If you're listening right now, click the link in the chat. If you're not listening, what?
What are you doing? That
Back it
doesn't
again.
make, if you're not listening, how are you hearing us say these things?
We'll put the link in the YouTube, but you better act fast because there's only 1 week left.
Only one.
8 days left.
Yeah.
Actually, 8 days and 48 minutes.
There you go. All right, so that is going to
Very
do it for another episode of Sentinels Live. Thank you, Chris Pramas. Pramas? Did I say that right?
Pramas, yes.
Pramas.
Rhymes with famous. That's
Rhymes is famous.
easy.
Chris
Famous.
for joining us this week. You can follow him at Pramas on Twitter. Sentinels of the Multiverse is the only cooperative comic book card game that you should be playing, as you all know. Thanks for joining us. We do this every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you do enjoy the show, please do like, share, follow, and subscribe. It helps spread the word. It helps spread the gospel of the Sentinels to the world beyond our shores. Sentinels of the Multiverse is currently available for iOS, Android, as well as Steam, and always in good old analog cardboard and ink. And to find more info about the game, as well as download the free demo, free! Who can argue with free? Check out sentinelsdigital.com. Chris, tell us a URL where people can find out more about you and what you do.
Well, you can go to greenronin.com, which is our company website. We also are on Twitter as Green Ronin Pub, and on Facebook, and all the social medias.
All the social medias. Fantastic.
If there's a Ronin and it's green, it's probably
Exactly
famous.
right.
Yep.
Famous Pramas.
Famous Pramas.
Thank you for having me on. It was fun.
Thank you for joining us. That's awesome. We love having guest stars on, and especially people who are actually familiar with the game. We've had a couple guest stars on who don't exactly know what they're doing, and that is
Yeah. I did not
Exciting.
shame my ancestors. Hurrah.
indeed. All right, thank you everybody for joining us. I am Jeremy,
And I'm John.
and we
Have a
will
good
see
night.
you next week.
Cheers.
Have a good one. Thanks everybody.
Night.